the long-running tension between Moneybagg Yo and Big 30 just sparked up again. Just when everyone thought things had finally cooled down, new drama hit the scene and the city's been buzzing ever since. This feud runs deep in Memphis, and it's not slowing down anytime soon. Back in July 2024, Big 30 dropped a bold new diss track, calling out Moneybagg loud and clear. He didn't hold back, claiming Moneybagg talks about a lifestyle he never really lived. According to Big 30, it's all stories, no proof, and that's got people talking. The roots of all this go back to Nuski, Big 30's cousin, and the link that once connected both camps. Nuski had signed under Moneybagg's label a few years back, but he still stayed close to the streets. Sadly, in January 2022, Nuski's life was cut short, and that moment flipped everything upside down. Nuski's passing hit Big 30 hard. Not long after, he dropped Nuski Livin', a track packed with emotion, calling out fake loyalty and showing how deep his pain ran. In the song, he made it clear he protects his people and moves on his own terms. It was cold, direct, and real. Moneybagg claimed he was tight with Nuski, but when he didn't show up to the funeral, Big 30 called that out in his lyrics. That absence became a symbol of what he saw as broken loyalty. His new track dives deep into themes of respect, betrayal, and what happens when someone plays both sides. Big 30's words hit hard, and the whole city felt it. This isn't just music, it's personal. Then Big 30 turned the heat up even more, accusing Moneybagg of switching up on his people, saying, "You ain't a stand-up guy no more." Big 30 went straight for the jugular, saying Moneybagg folds under pressure. He called him a yes man, claiming he sticks to the wrong people and disappears when things get serious. According to Big 30, that lifestyle Moneybagg talks about isn't really his lane. He said he puts morals over money, and he's not afraid to call out fake loyalty when he sees it. He even accused Moneybagg of being a fraud, plain and simple. Then Big 30 doubled down, claiming he once gave Moneybagg flashy jewelry and support, only for Moneybagg to act like he did it all himself. But Moneybagg wasn't staying quiet. He clapped back, saying, "I figured out why you left me. Why are you lying on me?" He explained that the jewelry was just on loan, that he returned everything, and that Moneybagg only showed it off to look bigger than he really was. Then Big 30 questioned, "What kind of boss does that just for clout?" And the crowd ate it up. Things didn't stop there. Big 30 even hinted that Moneybagg might have had some cosmetic work done, questioning how real he truly is. He threw another jab, saying, "Tell me a time you saw me without protection," basically letting everyone know he stays solid and doesn't fake his image. He added he'd never pay a doctor to change his look. That's just not him. The drama kept getting hotter. Moneybagg fired right back with his own response track, taking aim at rappers he called fake flexers and clout chasers. He said too many people hide behind fake profiles and only pop out online for attention. In his verse, he made it clear he's been working, making real money, and doesn't need social media followers to prove anything. Then Moneybagg flipped the tables, calling Big 30 broke and claiming he doesn't even need security when he's out. Bold talk for sure. Fans started picking sides, some backing Big 30, others standing with Moneybagg. Then Moneybagg took one last swing, accusing Big 30 of gossiping and blaming his issues on bad habits and stress. This whole back and forth turned into a wild public showdown, and the entire city's tuned in to every single word. Each drop, each bar is getting louder, messier, and way more personal. Each camp keep calling each other out, fake real ones versus clout chasers, and nobody's holding back. When Big 30 threw shade about cosmetic rumors, Moneybagg fired right back, brushing it off and saying he's just calling things how he sees them. He laughed at the idea of ever changing his face and took a few extra hits, saying some people brag about gym life but don't even work out for real. He called him out for pretending, saying the whole act was fake energy. Big 30 had claimed Moneybagg wasn't really from the streets, but Moneybagg flipped that right back, saying Big 30 just talks tough and performs for the internet. He said, "These dudes keep talking online like they run the block, but real ones know what's up." The shots didn't stop there. Moneybagg warned Big 30 not to push him, claiming nobody could ever say they've disrespected him or made him back down. He told fans to check the facts before believing the rumors and said most of the talk out there was pure cap. The tension just kept heating up. Then Big 30 jumped online with his own response, saying Moneybagg's been in the rap game for over 15 years, but suddenly wants to call everyone else fake. He questioned why Moneybagg acts like he's still in the trenches, when in Big 30's words, the wildest thing he does now is smoke in peace where it's legal. He said that's not exactly what real street legends are made of. What started as just an unreleased diss track from Big 30 exploded when Moneybagg clapped back with a response that had everyone talking. The internet couldn't look away. The feud had officially gone viral. This feud didn't just stay in the booth, it spilled straight into business drama too. Big 30 started calling out his deal with Moneybagg Yo's Bread Gang label, saying major moves were made behind his back. He felt like things weren't as fair as they seemed, while Moneybagg stood firm, defending his brand and saying, if I sign you, I help you shine. But Big 30 saw it completely different, and that tension only grew stronger. Now the story isn't just about lyrics, it's about loyalty, contracts, and who's really playing who behind the scenes. The back and forth kept heating up, and fans were taking sides as each new track dropped more shade and deeper shots. Moneybagg clapped back hard, saying Big 30 was exaggerating just to get out of his deal. He told everyone he's doing just fine financially and claimed Big 30 was twisting stories for attention and sympathy. Things were getting way too personal, and both camps started firing off subtle shots in interviews and online posts. Back when Big 30 first hit the rap game, he came up strong alongside his close friend Pooh Shiesty. The two were a force. Their sound was buzzing all over the South, and they built a wave that felt unstoppable. But in 2020, everything took a turn when Pooh Shiesty got sent away for a serious case down in Florida. That moment changed everything for Big 30's career.
Before all the fame, the two were like brothers. When Pooh Shiesty went viral and signed with Gucci Mane's 1017 label, Gucci reportedly wanted Big 30 too, but he was already locked in under Moneybagg's CMG wing. Back then, Big 30 stayed loyal, believing Moneybagg truly had his back. But that loyalty came with pressure and plenty of rumors. Word spread that Gucci Mane wasn't too happy when Big 30 chose not to sign with him, and that's when a whole new tension kicked off. Big 30 once posted a picture with Pooh Shiesty and Gucci by the pool during a video shoot, just showing love. But Gucci wasn't feeling it. He jumped in the comments saying, "K.A., stop posting me. Dude, we met once." That one comment lit up the internet instantly. After that, things got heated online. They went back and forth with a few jabs before eventually cooling it down and teaming up for a collab track. Still, the vibe was never quite the same again. Looking back now, staying signed to CMG might have been a move that slowed Big 30's rise, because after Pooh got locked up, Big 30's buzz started fading fast and his label situation got cold. Moneybagg used all that as fuel in his latest diss, calling Big 30 lazy and fake for not keeping the grind alive when his day one was gone. He painted himself as the one who stayed consistent, while Big 30, in his eyes, lost the hunger and stopped pushing. The verses were cutting. Moneybagg made sure people felt every word. But to really understand how this all exploded, you gotta rewind back to Moneybagg's early days on the south side of Memphis. At just 15, he was out there grinding hard before any fame or deals ever came his way. Back then, rap was just something he did for fun, until things got dangerous and made him rethink everything. After a close call that nearly ended his come-up, he switched his mindset completely. That's when he hit the studio like his life depended on it, turning real struggle into raw music. He dropped track after track, using his pain as motivation, and built himself into the artist we see now, focused, relentless, and determined to never go back to where he started. Once Moneybagg Yo started taking music seriously, the city couldn't ignore him anymore. His sound began spreading all across Memphis, block by block. At first, he stayed fully independent, no big label backing him, just mixtapes, hustle, and word of mouth. The streets started talking about his tracks, and soon his name was echoing all over the city. Meanwhile, Yo Gotti was already a major figure, holding down the north side heavy. But that created a tricky situation, because Memphis has long been split between the north and south, and that divide runs deep. Still, Yo Gotti saw something special in Moneybagg and wanted to bring him into the CMG family. Once that deal was locked in, Moneybagg's career took off fast. His streams skyrocketed, his shows sold out, and his buzz went nationwide. But success always comes with pressure, and that move stirred up some serious local tension. Before the fame, Moneybagg rolled with a crew called Young Mob, alongside his close friend Stupid Duke and other Southside associates. But the moment he linked up with Yo Gotti, Young Mob felt betrayed and cut him off completely. It wasn't just petty jealousy either. There was real history between the two sides. Back around 2010, one of Young Mob's main figures, OG Boo Dirty, had long-standing beef with Yo Gotti. One night outside a Memphis club, things reportedly got out of hand. Words were exchanged, a fight broke out, and chaos followed. Security tried to calm it down, but the situation got way too wild. When it was over, one person ended up seriously hurt, and both camps went quiet for a while after that. That incident marked a turning point in Memphis history. It showed how deep the divide really was between crews. After that wild chapter in Memphis history, the tension between camps never truly disappeared. It just went quiet for a while. Moneybagg Yo kept pushing his music, stacking hits, and proving he could stand on his own. By the time 2025 rolled around, he was officially one of the hottest names coming out of the South. But even with all that success, the drama around his rise kept following him everywhere he went. When Moneybagg and Yo Gotti started moving together under CMG, their partnership looked powerful on paper, but not everybody was celebrating. Some felt like Moneybagg turned his back on his roots, while others argued he finally leveled up and left the street drama behind. Either way, his name stayed in people's mouths, and that spotlight only got brighter. Then came the whispers about new artists feeling boxed out. Rumors spread that Moneybagg was getting too focused on himself, leaving less room for others on the label to shine. Big 30 was one of the loudest voices questioning that, hitting that the business wasn't being handled fairly. Fans started reading between the lines. Was this friendly competition or something deeper brewing again? Still, Moneybagg didn't let up. He dropped back-to-back hits, collaborations with huge artists, and kept dominating charts. But behind all the trophies and headlines, people close to the scene said the tension inside the camp was growing. Some insiders claimed certain artists felt overlooked, while others defended Moneybagg, saying he earned every bit of what he's got through hard work and focus. By 2025, the energy around CMG was different. Bigger, flashier, but full of quiet competition. Big 30 was working to rebuild his own lane, dropping tracks that hinted at old scars and new ambition. Moneybagg, meanwhile, stayed focused on keeping his empire strong and his name hot in the industry. The two might not be trading diss tracks anymore, but the silence between them says as much as the music once did. After that moment, everybody in Memphis knew the North versus South divide wasn't just talk anymore. It was real tension at a serious level. OG Boo Dirty and Moneybagg Yo both came out of Walker Homes in South Memphis, and long before the fame, Moneybagg had even appeared in one of Boo Dirty's old diss videos aimed at Yo Gotti. So when Moneybagg later signed with Gotti's CMG label, a lot of people saw it as crossing sides, and that move still echoes through Memphis rap culture today. What made it even more complicated was Moneybagg's past connection with Dolph Young. Back when Moneybagg was still trying to make a name for himself, Dolph showed love and helped him get exposure. Dolph even hopped on a track for free, something that meant a lot coming from a respected figure in Memphis. That cosign gave Moneybagg a huge boost, but it also created future problems once things started to shift. When the feud between Yo Gotti and Dolph Young started heating up, it put Moneybagg right in the middle of a tough situation, both musically and personally. Gotti had originally wanted Dolph to join CMG, but Dolph turned it down. He wanted to stay independent and build his own label on his own terms without being tied to anyone. Gotti reportedly didn't take that rejection lightly, and soon after, the tension between them started spilling into interviews and songs.
They began trading subliminal shots in their lyrics and social media posts, and fans could feel the energy getting heavier with every drop. At first, Moneybagg tried to stay out of it, focusing only on his own music and success, but it wasn't easy, especially being connected to both sides at one point. Around that same time, he linked up with Finesse 2’, another Memphis artist known for his raw flow and real-life storytelling. Finesse 2’ had just come home after serving time from a 2010 case and quickly linked up with Moneybagg Yo's Bread Gang crew. At first, the bond between them seemed unshakable. Finesse even claimed he helped Moneybagg with some bars and passed him a few tracks, showing just how close they really were. But soon, things took a turn when Finesse wanted to jump headfirst into Yo Gotti's ongoing conflict with Young Dolph. Moneybagg told him to cool off, saying it wasn't his battle to fight. That didn't sit right with Finesse, who started calling Moneybagg soft for not stepping into the drama. From there, their friendship started to crack, and the tension between them began to grow while the larger feud between Gotti and Dolph kept spiraling in the background. It wasn't just about lyrics anymore. The atmosphere in Memphis was getting dangerous. Fans were hyped over the music, but behind the scenes, people knew there were real tensions tied to the beef. Every new song felt like it carried double meanings, and everyone could sense that things were getting too real. What most listeners didn't realize was how deeply connected all these circles were. Young Dolph, Big 30, and Big 30's cousin Nuski were all linked through the same neighborhoods and mutual ties. Dolph was associated with a group known as Trulla Mafia, one of the city's most talked about crews, and he was especially close to a guy named J Money from that side. J Money had a strong reputation in Memphis, known for being active and fearless, but his name also came with heavy stories from the past. When he was just 18, he reportedly got caught up in a tragic situation that left everyone in shock. Word around the city was that he thought someone was coming for him. Panic hit and chaos broke loose. J Money's close friend, Denzel Monroe, got caught in the middle of chaos one night, and sadly, he didn't make it out alive. Stories like that show just how unpredictable and emotional the Memphis scene can be. Loyalty, betrayal, and heartbreak often mix together in ways that change everything. The word around the city was that J Money's life took a tragic turn after that night. Reports said he panicked when things went wrong, and in the confusion, he accidentally caused his friend's passing. It was a mistake that haunted him deeply. Somehow, he beat the case and walked free, but that moment changed him forever. Trying to rebuild, he shifted his focus towards music. He wanted to turn all that pain into purpose. Soon, he started linking up with Young Dolph in the studio, and people were talking. Rumor had it J Money was getting close to signing with Dolph's Paper Route Empire label. That move could have been huge for him, but sadly, the streets had other plans. In 2016, J Money's life was cut short outside a Memphis club, and the whole Trulla Mafia crew was left stunned. He wasn't just another name in the scene. He was a respected figure, someone everyone looked up to. After that loss, things inside Trulla fell apart fast. Whispers spread that Big Scar was involved with the same woman as J Money's brother, D Money, and that personal drama tore the crew in half. Big Scar and a few others decided to branch off, creating their own movement called Rich Ruthless, known in the streets as RR. For a moment, it looked like things might settle down, but peace never lasts long in Memphis. Soon, a RR member got into it with a Trulla affiliate named C-Mo, and that's when everything started to spiral again. BG, one of the younger members of RR, started throwing shade online, sending clear shots at C-Mo through posts and stories. The back and forth online was heating up fast, and people in Memphis could feel the tension building. Then, one night, BG was cruising through the city with another RR affiliate named 23, when everything changed in an instant. A car pulled up beside him, things escalated fast, and chaos broke loose. BG didn't make it out, while 23 barely escaped with his life. Word spread quickly across the city that C-Mo and his close friends, Zay and Go Crazy, were being linked to the attack. Go Crazy ended up taking the blame, while C-Mo got locked up shortly after on a separate charge and sent away for a bit. Zay, meanwhile, stayed free, at least for a while. Not long after, Zay's own life was cut short, and the talk around the town was that RR had handled that payback. But Trulla Mafia wasn't letting that go unanswered. Rumors swirled that they struck back, targeting 23 in retaliation, and once again, the streets lit up with tension. From there, the situation spiraled into a full-on cycle of revenge, hit after hit, back and forth, until nobody could even remember who started it anymore. Through all the chaos, J Money's brother, D Money, tried to keep Trulla's name alive, staying loyal to his people even when things were falling apart around him. But sadly, even he didn't make it out. Reports said he was caught up in another incident, and his loss hit the whole crew hard. Word on the streets pointed to a man named Big Unk being tied to the situation, though people couldn't even agree on where he stood. Some said he wasn't really part of RR at all, that he was more connected to other local sets like KSBG and TTK, but just cool with some Double R members. Either way, the lines between those crews were completely blurred, and the city was tense. That's why people were shocked when young Dolph signed Big Unk to his label. See, Dolph had always been cool with Trulla Mafia back when J Money was still around, but after Trulla split apart, he started getting closer to members of Double R. Dolph himself was never deep in that street tension, but fans couldn't believe he brought in someone who was rumored to have been connected to the loss of his old friend's brother. That move caught the whole Memphis scene off guard. Then, in 2021, tragedy struck again. Young Dolph lost his life in daylight broad dash, and the city was crushed. The news spread everywhere, and fans couldn't process it. Investigators later revealed that one of the suspects was Straight Drop, a Trulla Mafia affiliate who had ties to both Yo Gotti's Circle and CMG. According to reports, another suspect in the case claimed that Yo Gotti's brother, Big Juke, was allegedly connected to the money behind the hit, but those claims still remain part of ongoing debates in the city. What made things even more complicated was how intertwined everyone really was. Big 30 and his cousin Nuski were both friendly with Straight Drop before the tragedy. Big 30 also had solid ties with members of Double R, especially Big Scar. But things changed again after Scar's passing in 2022 from an accidental overdose.
When Big Scar passed, fans noticed Big 30 didn't attend the funeral, which immediately sparked rumors. He later cleared the air, saying it was just a misunderstanding, not disrespect. He even posted online, "I don't care who was there, I love you dearly," showing that the loss truly hit him hard. Big 30 continues to represent BG, a crew that's rumored to have long-standing issues with Double R, though most of it now stays beneath the surface. The city knows the energy between these groups can get tense, but not every issue turns into a full-blown battle anymore. It's not just business anymore. It's layers and layers of personal drama between people who used to be tight. Big 30's cousin even claimed that Moneybagg Yo only signed them for protection after that first diss track leaked, saying he didn't feel comfortable moving around Memphis solo. Big 30 added more fuel to the fire, accusing Moneybagg of paying people from his own neighborhood to act as security and cutting off his real local ties just to feel safe. Big 30 didn't stop there. He called Moneybagg out for chasing clout and said he once begged Pooh Shiesty for a bread gang chain, but Shiesty wasn't having it. Big 30 said it plain. Nobody in Memphis respected Moneybagg until he started hanging with me and Nuski. And when Nuski passed, Big 30 claimed Moneybagg went silent. No calls, no support, no love, just distance. That's when everything flipped. What used to be brotherhood turned into open hostility on tracks, online, and everywhere in between. Moneybagg fired back with sharp lyrics, saying Big 30 fell off after Pooh Shiesty got locked up, but Big 30 clapped right back, saying that wasn't true at all. He said he wasn't focused on music at that time because he was busy handling real-life business for Nuski, not chasing fame. In Big 30's words, "I couldn't be in rap mode when real life was calling." He made it clear, while Moneybagg was keeping his name in the spotlight, Big 30 was dealing with things too real to post or rap about. Then Big 30's close friend Big Dirty jumped into the mix again, trying to clear up the jewelry drama for once and for all. He said the only thing Moneybagg ever gave him was a cheap Cartier, and that he paid him back anyway. That line set social media on fire, with fans arguing over who was really telling the truth. Big 30 made it clear, he's been stacking money since he was 18 and never needed help from anyone, especially not from Moneybagg Yo. He doubled down in his lyrics, claiming Moneybagg was copying Lil Baby's whole vibe, and even called Lil Baby his real inspiration, throwing major shade in the process. The shots were bold, and fans couldn't believe how far he went with it. But here's the twist. After dropping those lines, Big 30 later said in an interview that he wasn't really bothered anymore, acting like the whole thing was behind him. Still, that piece didn't last long. When Moneybagg released his new album, he threw more slick jabs right back, keeping the feud alive and unpredictable. Nobody knows where it's headed next, but one thing's for sure, neither side is ready to wave the white flag. What really caught people's attention on Moneybagg's album was a line referencing his old collab with Young Dolph. He rapped, "Was up a ticket when I was hollering I need a plug," and fans immediately started breaking down every word. Was he calling out Big 30, or was that shade toward Dolph's old circle? The internet went wild trying to decode the meaning. And then there's the tragedy that still hangs over everything, Nuski's passing. Some people in the city whisper that it might be connected to old conflicts tied to Moneybagg Circle, but nobody's speaking on the full truth. What's known for sure is that Nuski was one of the most respected young names in Memphis before his life was cut short. Nuski's story was deep.
He got locked up at just 14, and while inside, he started listening to Moneybagg's early mixtapes. He said the music inspired him to change direction and go legit once he got out. When he came home at 18, he finally linked up with Moneybagg for real, and that connection changed everything for both of them. Word around the city says that at one point, Moneybagg Yo even showed Nuski $700,000 in cash, telling him to leave the streets behind and focus on music instead. It was supposed to be a turning point, a push toward a better path. But sadly, things didn't end that way. On January 28, 2022, tragedy struck in Whitehaven. Nuski lost his life the same night he was planning to pull up to Big 30's show to show love and support. The news hit Memphis hard, shaking the city to its core. That moment changed everything. The quiet tension between Big 30 and Moneybagg turned into a full-on feud that nobody could ignore. A few hours after the show, the worst happened, and when paramedics arrived, it was already too late. Almost instantly, rumors started flying across Memphis. People began whispering that Nuski's passing might be somehow tied to the ongoing tension between Moneybagg and Big 30, or even connected to the lingering drama around Young Dolph's situation. Everyone involved had overlapping ties to rival crews, and the speculation only grew louder. But many said the story went back even further, back to when Moneybagg first linked up with Yo Gotti. That move, years earlier, had sparked a whole chain of alliances, rivalries, and betrayals that never really cooled off. Some in the city believed Nuski's passing might have been some form of payback linked to that old tension, but there was never any solid proof, just street talk and speculation. Then, a few months later, things took another heartbreaking turn. Big 30's close friend, Chief Dollar, was tragically killed in the same neighborhood where Nuski lost his life. Nobody knew who was behind it, and the city went quiet once again, until 2024, when two members of Young Mob were charged in connection to Chief Dollar's passing. In May 2023, reports surfaced about a wild incident involving several alleged Young Mob affiliates. Names like Stupid Duke, Paul Nelson, and Rodnick Winston were mentioned. According to the reports, they pulled up to Tug's Casual Grill in Harbor Town and opened fire at a man sitting on the patio. The man ran inside to escape, but chaos broke out as the gunfire continued, with nearly 50 people still inside the restaurant trying to take cover. During the chaos, Rodnick was struck. His crew rushed him to a nearby fire station for help, but sadly, he didn't make it. The whole city was left in shock. Not long after, police arrested Muhammad Samba and Quentin Moss in connection to the earlier case involving Chief Dollar's passing, both reportedly tied to the same violent network that had been shaking Memphis for years.
Rumors around the city say all of this connects back to Moneybagg Yo's long-standing tension with Young Mob. Remember, Young Mob and Yo Gotti had issues that stretched back years, long before Moneybagg ever signed to CMG. So when he joined forces with Gotti, he also inherited that old tension. People close to the scene said some of Moneybagg's old associates from Young Mob started questioning his loyalty, pressing him about switching sides and chasing fame over friendship. That's when, according to Street Talk, Moneybagg began spending more time with members from KSBG, guys like Big 30 and Nuski, who were known for keeping things tight and loyal. Some say they became his new circle, his new protection, and his way of showing that he still had solid backing in the city. Of course, none of this has been officially confirmed, but in Memphis, perception is everything. Every rumor only adds more tension to an already dangerous situation. What started out as simple rap competition has turned into deep street politics, a mix of revenge, loyalty, and loss. The alleged document reportedly mentioned a man named Brian Lackland, better known as Stupid Duke, as being heavily involved in the ongoing tension with DW. It even listed Moneybagg Yo's real name, Demario White. The paperwork claimed that once Moneybagg started moving closely with members of KSBG, a few people from that circle allegedly tried to target Stupid Duke outside a Memphis barbershop back in 2021. That moment was said to be the real turning point, the one that made everything spiral out of control. Now it's clear this situation runs way deeper than fans ever imagined. What many once thought was just a music rivalry is actually tied to years of old loyalty shifts, personal grudges, and neighborhood politics that never really disappeared. If any of these reports hold even a bit of truth, it paints a heavy picture, one where Moneybagg's connection to SBG may have quietly played a part in the chain of events that led to the tragic losses of Big 30's cousin Nuski and his close friend Chief Dollar. To Big 30, that kind of pain isn't just music, it's real life, and it's something that doesn't fade easy.
Memphis has always had an intense rap scene, but right now, the tension feels stronger than ever. What's happening isn't just about lyrics, it's about respect, legacy, and loss. The city's music world is on fire, with real emotions mixing into every verse and every move made online. At this point, everyone's watching closely to see what happens next. Can this situation ever cool down, or is it already too deep to fix? Hopefully, both sides can take a step back, because too many lives have already been lost over pride and power. What do you think? Could Moneybagg Yo and Big 30 ever make peace, or is the damage permanent? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video if you want more deep dives into Memphis rap's wildest stories.